Have you ever wondered what makes Scorpio one of the most mysterious signs in the zodiac? Scorpio's personality is often described as intense, unpredictable, and deeply emotional. But there's something more, something that most people overlook, yet it plays a significant role in how they navigate the world. If you've ever tried to understand a Scorpio, you know that their complexity can leave you both fascinated and confused. But today, I'm going to take you deeper into the hidden aspects of Scorpio's nature. There's a trait, a specific quality, that will completely change how you see them. Trust me, by the end of this video, your perspective on Scorpio will be transformed. But before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Share your zodiac sign and birth date in the comments below, I'll be reading them. And if you're fascinated by the mysteries of the zodiac and want to explore more about astrology, psychology, and personal growth, be sure to subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life. Here, we dive deep into the complexities of each zodiac sign, and together, we can explore the hidden forces that shape our lives. So, stay tuned and let's unlock the mysteries of Scorpio. You don't want to miss this. 1. Scorpio's emotional guard, protecting the inner self. Scorpios are often seen as enigmatic and mysterious individuals. And this perception stems largely from their emotional guard. The Scorpio personality is known for being complex, with an emotional depth that can be as intimidating as it is captivating. One of the core characteristics that makes Scorpios seem weird to others is their emotional reserve. In astrology, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation and the subconscious, which governs the deeper aspects of the psyche. This influence makes Scorpio naturally introspective and intense, constantly navigating a world of emotions and internal turmoil. But despite their rich inner world, Scorpios often struggle to open up emotionally to others. They tend to keep their feelings hidden behind a tough exterior, making it difficult for others to get close. This emotional guard is a defense mechanism, a way for Scorpios to protect themselves from being hurt. They've likely experienced betrayal or emotional wounds in the past, and as a result, they find it challenging to trust others. Scorpio's suspicion of others' intentions leads them to observe rather than engage, which can often make them appear aloof or distant. However, this emotional reserve does not mean they lack depth. Once a Scorpio decides to trust someone, they do so with complete loyalty and intensity. In fact, when they open up, they expect the same level of honesty and commitment in return. This can create extremely passionate relationships, but they are not for the faint of heart. The intensity that Scorpios bring into relationships is both their strength and their greatest challenge. Psychologically, this trait reflects a need for self-preservation. In the realm of personal development, it's important to acknowledge that Scorpios may find it difficult to break down these walls. But understanding this behavior can lead to greater compassion for them. If you are in a relationship with a Scorpio, patience and consistency are key to gaining their trust. Building a relationship with them requires emotional intelligence and the willingness to accept their need for emotional space. 2. Reluctance to trust, the Scorpio filter. Scorpios are naturally cautious, particularly when it comes to trusting others. They have an intense instinct for detecting dishonesty, which is a key feature of their personality. This highly developed intuition often allows them to see through facades and spot insincerity from a mile away. As a result, Scorpios are generally skeptical of others, questioning motives and carefully analyzing the words and actions of those around them. Astrologically, Scorpio's ruling planet Pluto is associated with power, control, and transformation. This connection gives them a sharp, almost psychic ability to perceive the underlying truths in situations and people. While this can be incredibly useful in some cases, it also contributes to their distrust of inconsistency. Scorpios value loyalty and consistency, and when they sense even a hint of dishonesty, they may shut down or distance themselves from the situation. This reluctance to trust can sometimes be seen as a weakness or flaw by those who don't understand Scorpio's deeper motivations. It is easy for others to misinterpret this behavior as overcautiousness or a lack of openness. However, in the world of psychology, this is more of a defense mechanism designed to protect themselves from emotional harm. Scorpio's trust is something that must be earned, and once broken, it is extremely difficult to rebuild. The psychological impact of betrayal or dishonesty can be so profound for a Scorpio that they may carry emotional scars from past experiences for years. From a personal development perspective, learning how to gain a Scorpio's trust requires a commitment to being transparent, consistent, and emotionally available. If you are dealing with a Scorpio in any capacity, it is essential to demonstrate integrity and authenticity, as they are keen to detect when someone is being disingenuous. In the end, once they trust you, you will experience the depth of loyalty and emotional investment that few others can offer. 3. Self-respect above all else, Scorpio's strong sense of pride. Self-respect is paramount to a Scorpio, especially when it comes to their interactions with others. Scorpio individuals, particularly women, have a deep sense of pride and personal dignity that they uphold above all else. When someone disrespects them or crosses their boundaries, they will not forgive or forget easily. This sense of self-respect makes them incredibly resilient and able to protect their emotional well-being. The need for respect and honor is often so strong in Scorpios that they are unwilling to engage with those who have violated their principles. Psychologically, this behavior is a way of establishing boundaries, something Scorpios are exceptionally skilled at. They know that maintaining their sense of pride and self-worth is crucial for their emotional survival. As a result, they will distance themselves from anyone who fails to treat them with the respect they deserve. In relationships, this intense self-respect can sometimes be misinterpreted as coldness or rigidity. People may expect Scorpios to be more forgiving or lenient, but Scorpios do not tolerate disrespect. Once trust is broken, it is often permanently damaged in their eyes, making reconciliation difficult. This steadfast commitment to self-respect can make Scorpios appear inflexible, but it is a reflection of their deeply ingrained sense of personal integrity. From a personal development standpoint, this characteristic is a strength. Scorpios teach us the importance of setting boundaries and not allowing others to diminish our worth. In the long term, this trait enables them to avoid toxic relationships and maintain a high level of emotional independence. For anyone involved with a Scorpio, respecting their boundaries and understanding their sense of self-respect is essential for fostering a healthy relationship. 4. The fear of losing independence, the paradox of Scorpio's freedom. Scorpios are fiercely independent and value their personal space and freedom above all else. This characteristic is particularly evident in relationships, where Scorpios are known to pull away when they feel their autonomy is being threatened. They will not hesitate to withdraw emotionally or physically from a situation if they perceive any threat to their personal independence. The fear of losing control over their life is a constant undercurrent in Scorpio's behavior. As an astrologically driven sign, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the planet that symbolizes transformation and the subconscious. This planetary influence can create a need for emotional autonomy, the desire to control their own emotional landscape without interference from others. When Scorpios feel that someone or something is encroaching on this autonomy, they will often shut down or step away entirely. This can create a paradox, as Scorpios are capable of deep, passionate connections, but they also need space to thrive. Psychologically, this behavior is rooted in self-preservation. Scorpios are keenly aware that losing their sense of independence can lead to emotional vulnerability. To protect themselves, they withdraw when they feel overwhelmed, even if it means severing a meaningful relationship. This can be frustrating for those who are involved with them, but it's a crucial aspect of their emotional well-being. For anyone seeking to be in a relationship with a Scorpio, understanding their need for independence is essential. If you are patient and give them the freedom they need, you will find that they are incredibly loyal and deeply committed when they feel their autonomy is respected. At the same time, it's important for Scorpios themselves to work on balancing their need for independence with the emotional openness required for a healthy relationship. 5. Scorpio's dominant sexual nature, the power of intimacy. One of the most intriguing aspects of Scorpio is their dominant sexual nature. Scorpios are often regarded as the most sexually intense sign of the zodiac. And for good reason. Their approach to intimacy is not just physical, it is a deeply emotional, psychological, and transformative experience. This connection to the power of intimacy is what makes Scorpio so unique in the realm of relationships. Scorpios approach sexual encounters with a need for control and intensity, and they are rarely satisfied with a casual, fleeting connection. For them, intimacy is about transformative experiences, an exploration of the soul, not just the body. The depth with which Scorpios experience love and desire often leads to intensely passionate connections. They desire a partner who can match their energy and engage in deep, meaningful exchanges. Psychologically, this need for dominance and intensity in sexual relationships reflects a desire to assert control and experience profound emotional connection. Scorpio's sexual energy is linked to their broader need for emotional depth and personal transformation. In relationships, this intense focus on intimacy can make Scorpio seem overwhelming to those who are not prepared for such a powerful connection. It also highlights the duality in Scorpio's personality. While they are often guarded and distant emotionally, they are capable of being incredibly passionate and open in their intimate relationships. If you are in a relationship with a Scorpio, it's important to understand that their desire for intimacy is rooted in a need for total connection. They are not interested in superficial experiences, and they expect the same level of commitment from their partner. To maintain a healthy balance in the relationship, it is crucial for both partners to respect each other's boundaries and communicate openly about their desires and expectations. 6. Scorpios need to be right, the battle for supremacy. One of the most distinctive features of a Scorpio is their unshakable belief that their perspective is the correct one. This need to be right can sometimes make them seem overly stubborn or even combative, especially when they are engaged in discussions. Scorpios will defend their ideas with a level of intensity that can feel like a battle for supremacy. Astrologically, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which brings an inherent drive for power and control, not just in their external environment but also in their inner world. When they believe something to be true, they are unwavering in their conviction. This can make Scorpio seem rigid, as they are reluctant to entertain other viewpoints. They often approach conversations as if they are on a quest for truth. And they can be so deeply invested in their own views that it may feel impossible to change their mind. Psychologically, this trait is tied to their need for control and dominance. Scorpios have a strong sense of self, and challenging their beliefs can feel like a challenge to their personal authority. It is not about arrogance but about protecting their identity and their sense of truth. For Scorpios, being proven wrong can be deeply unsettling, as it forces them to reconsider their worldview, which they find unsettling. If you are involved in a relationship with a Scorpio, or simply trying to have a discussion with them, it's important to be respectful of their ideas while also standing your ground. Engaging in constructive, open-minded dialogue is essential for mutual understanding. While it can be frustrating to deal with a Scorpio's need to be right, it also offers the opportunity to sharpen your own arguments and strengthen your communication skills. 7. Scorpio's distrust of inconsistent people, the search for authenticity. Scorpios have a keen radar for dishonesty and inconsistency, which makes them extremely cautious about who they let into their inner circle. If someone changes their story or offers conflicting versions of their life, Scorpios will become deeply suspicious. This distrust of inconsistency can make them appear overly cautious or even paranoid to those around them. But it's simply a reflection of their need for authenticity. Astrological context. Pluto's influence gives Scorpio an instinctual understanding of what is real and what is not. They see beyond the surface and can often perceive the true motivations behind a person's words and actions. For Scorpio, trust is a currency that is earned slowly, and once it's broken, it can be difficult to regain. They value transparency and expect others to uphold the same level of honesty that they do. Psychologically, this can be seen as a protective mechanism. Scorpios have a deep need for emotional safety, and anyone who is inconsistent or dishonest is seen as a threat to that safety. As a result, they become hyper-aware of the subtle cues and inconsistencies in a person's behavior. For Scorpios, relationships are built on authenticity and loyalty, and any deviation from this is perceived as a serious betrayal. If you are trying to connect with a Scorpio, consistency is key. Demonstrating that you are trustworthy and transparent in your actions and words will help build a foundation of trust. Scorpios are not quick to forgive inconsistency. But if they see you as genuine, they will offer their loyalty and deep emotional commitment in return. 8. Scorpios' extreme directness, brutal honesty without a filter. Scorpios are known for their extreme directness when it comes to expressing their opinions. They are notorious for being brutally honest and not sugarcoating their thoughts, even if it makes others uncomfortable. This lack of filter often leaves people shocked or taken aback, as Scorpios don't hesitate to say exactly what's on their mind. Astrological insight. With Pluto as their ruling planet, Scorpios have a natural affinity for truth-seeking and uncovering what's hidden beneath the surface. This drive for authenticity leads them to speak directly, without concern for how it may be received. To a Scorpio, being honest is more important than maintaining social niceties or avoiding discomfort. Psychological angle. From a psychological perspective, Scorpios' bluntness is rooted in their need for clarity. They don't want to waste time with ambiguity or pretenses. This directness can sometimes come across as cold or abrasive, especially to those who are used to more diplomatic or tactful communication. However, for Scorpios, honesty is a way of asserting their control over a situation and ensuring they are understood. In relationships, this trait can be both refreshing and challenging. While some people may appreciate the transparency that Scorpios bring, others may find their bluntness hard to accept. If you're dealing with a Scorpio, it's important to be prepared for straightforward feedback and understand that their honesty is not meant to hurt, but to foster deeper understanding and authenticity. 9. Scorpios' high libido, intimacy as a transformative experience. Scorpios are often considered to be the most sexually intense sign of the zodiac. Their sexual energy is not just physical. It is deeply emotional and transformative. For Scorpios, sex is a profound experience, one that goes beyond mere physical pleasure. They seek emotional and psychological connection through intimacy. And their high libido reflects their desire for a total, transformative connection with their partner. Astrological insight. The influence of Pluto and its connection to the subconscious makes Scorpios' sexuality incredibly powerful and all-encompassing. They are not satisfied with casual encounters, they crave deep, transformative intimacy that touches on all aspects of the self. This need for intensity and intimacy is a reflection of their overall approach to life. Everything they do is marked by passion and emotional depth. Psychological perspective. Scorpios view sex as an opportunity for transformation and connection, rather than a mere physical act. This intense desire can sometimes overshadow other aspects of their personality, making them seem one-dimensional to those who don't understand the depth of their need for intimacy. For a Scorpio, sex is a way to bond, to experience vulnerability, and to reach a deeper level of emotional and physical satisfaction. Practical tip. If you're in a relationship with a Scorpio, it's important to understand that their desire for intimacy is tied to emotional fulfillment. They are not seeking just physical pleasure. They are looking for someone who can meet them on a deeper, more intimate level. Being open to exploring that emotional connection will create a relationship that feels transformative and profound. 10. Scorpios' possessiveness, the desire for loyalty and devotion. Scorpios have an intense need for loyalty in their relationships, which can sometimes manifest as possessiveness. When they feel a deep connection to someone, they can become protective and jealous, especially if they perceive that person as being unfaithful or emotionally distant. Astrological context. With Pluto's influence, Scorpios have a tendency to form all-encompassing relationships. They are not satisfied with half-hearted connections, they demand full emotional commitment and loyalty. This can sometimes result in possessive behavior, especially when they fear that their emotional bond is being threatened by external forces. Psychologically, this possessiveness stems from a fear of emotional vulnerability. Scorpios invest so deeply in their relationships that they can become overly protective of their loved ones. They crave loyalty because they see it as a reflection of their partner's commitment to them. However, this deep emotional investment can sometimes lead them to become controlling or jealous, especially if they feel their partner is not equally invested. In relationships, it's important for both parties to understand Scorpios' need for loyalty and security. For Scorpios, their possessiveness is not about control but about protecting what they hold most dear. If you are in a relationship with a Scorpio, open communication and reassurance are essential to ease their fears and create a balanced partnership. 11. Scorpio's passionate nature in love, intensity that consumes. One of Scorpios' most defining qualities is their passionate nature in love. When Scorpios commit to someone, they do so with an intensity that can feel overwhelming, and their emotional depth makes their relationships anything but superficial. Scorpios approach love not as a casual affair but as a transformative experience. For them, love is not just about companionship, it's about emotional fusion and deep, almost spiritual connection. Astrological insight. Ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation and power, Scorpio is driven by an innate need to experience profound emotional connections. This influence makes them intensely loyal, but also all-consuming in relationships. Scorpios don't believe in half measures when it comes to love, they invest themselves completely, seeking a partner who can match their emotional depth and commitment. Psychological angle. This passionate nature stems from Scorpio's desire for completeness in a relationship. They crave emotional intimacy that goes beyond mere affection or companionship. They want to feel as though they've connected with their partner on the deepest level, which can sometimes create a sense of obsession. This need for intensity can be overwhelming for some. But for Scorpios, it is their way of feeling alive and truly connected to another person. Practical tip. If you're in a relationship with a Scorpio, understand that they may require more from you than other signs. They expect deep emotional investment and commitment, and their intense love may sometimes feel consuming. It's important to communicate openly and ensure mutual respect for boundaries while also embracing the passion they bring to the table. If you can match their energy, your connection will be one of the most profound you'll ever experience. 12. Scorpio's reluctance to go back to the past, moving forward with unwavering certainty. Once a Scorpio has made up their mind about something, whether it's a relationship, a decision, or a situation, they tend to close the door behind them and never look back. This reluctance to revisit the past is one of the traits that make Scorpios seem emotionally distant and decisive. Astrological insight. Under the influence of Pluto, Scorpio is constantly in a state of transformation. When they move on from something, they do so with complete certainty, often severing ties without hesitation. This need for finality is linked to Pluto's role as the planet of rebirth. Scorpios are forward-looking and believe that whatever they leave behind no longer serves them. They do not see the need to rehash old relationships or experiences once they have moved forward. Psychological perspective. Psychologically, this behavior reflects a deep desire for emotional closure. Scorpios are not comfortable with uncertainty, and unresolved feelings can weigh heavily on them. Therefore, when they decide to move on, it's as though they are closing a chapter in their life that is no longer relevant. While others may see this as a lack of sentimentality, Scorpios view it as a necessary step toward personal growth and transformation. Practical tip. If you are trying to reconnect with a Scorpio after an emotional event or conflict, Be prepared that they may not be willing to revisit the past. Respect their need for closure, and don't expect them to offer second chances. For Scorpios, moving forward is a matter of self-preservation and emotional growth. It's important to understand this trait and give them the space to evolve. 13. Scorpios' consistent behavior in dating, authenticity above all. Scorpios are known for their authenticity in relationships. And this trait extends into the dating world as well. Unlike many people who may alter their behavior to impress a potential partner, Scorpios remain true to themselves and expect the same from others. They don't believe in pretending to be something they're not, and they have little patience for those who do. Astrological insight. Under Pluto's influence, Scorpios are inherently authentic individuals who believe in genuine connections. They value honesty and transparency, and this drives their approach to dating. For them, the experience should be real, intense, and free from superficial games. This authenticity can be both refreshing and intimidating, as Scorpios don't mince words or hide their true selves. Psychological angle. Scorpios' authenticity is tied to their deep need for emotional truth. They cannot connect with someone on a meaningful level if they sense dishonesty or disingenuousness. Psychologically, this is a defense mechanism. They want to protect themselves from being misled or hurt by someone who is not sincere. For a Scorpio, being honest and direct is the only way to ensure a real, lasting connection. Practical tip. When dating a Scorpio, it's important to be genuine and open from the start. They will appreciate your sincerity and will feel more comfortable being vulnerable with you if they sense that you are being honest. Be ready for direct communication and avoid playing games. Scorpios are deeply loyal and expect the same loyalty in return, so if you're authentic and committed, your bond will grow stronger. 14. Scorpios' fascination with justice and equality in love. Scorpios have a strong sense of justice, particularly when it comes to their relationships. They believe in equality and fairness in love, and they expect their partner to meet them halfway, both emotionally and intellectually. For Scorpios, love is not about imbalance or one-sided devotion, it's about a fair and equal exchange of energy and commitment. Astrological insight. Pluto's influence on Scorpio brings a desire for balance and fairness in their relationships. This need for justice is linked to their emotional depth and their desire for authenticity. Scorpios are uncomfortable in relationships where there is a sense of manipulation or inequality. They value partnerships where both parties contribute equally, and they expect their partner to put in as much effort and emotional investment as they do. Psychological perspective. Psychologically, this sense of justice comes from Scorpios' innate need for emotional fairness. They seek relationships where both people can express themselves freely and be heard, without any power imbalances or hidden agendas. Scorpios are highly intuitive and can sense when something feels unfair or off, which can cause them to question their partner's motives. Practical tip. If you're in a relationship with a Scorpio, it's important to maintain a sense of fairness and equality. Avoid manipulating or taking advantage of them, as this will quickly cause them to withdraw. Open communication and mutual respect for each other's emotional needs are essential for maintaining a balanced, healthy relationship. 15. Scorpio's secretive nature in love, keeping emotions hidden. Despite their intense emotions, Scorpios are incredibly secretive when it comes to matters of the heart. They prefer to keep their true feelings hidden, often waiting until they can fully trust someone before revealing their vulnerabilities. This secretive nature can make them appear distant or emotionally unavailable, but it's simply their way of protecting themselves. Astrological insight. As a water sign, Scorpio's emotional world is deep and often hidden from the outside world. While other signs might express their feelings openly, Scorpios prefer to keep their emotions close to their chest. This secretive nature is linked to their desire for emotional control and privacy, and it's further intensified by Pluto's influence, which encourages them to keep their innermost thoughts and feelings guarded. Psychological perspective. Psychologically, Scorpio's secretiveness is a defense mechanism. They have learned from past experiences that opening up too soon or to the wrong person can lead to emotional harm. For them, trust is something that must be earned over time, and they are cautious about revealing their true feelings until they are certain that the other person is trustworthy. Practical tip: if you are trying to connect with a Scorpio on a deeper level, give them time and space to open up. Avoid pressuring them to share their feelings too soon, as this will only cause them to retreat. Instead, focus on building trust through consistent actions and emotional support. Over time, they will begin to reveal their true feelings and share their emotional world with you. 16. Scorpio's connection to Pluto and vengeance, the power of transformation. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation, death, and rebirth. This influence gives Scorpios a unique ability to rise from the ashes of past emotional wounds and emerge stronger. However, it also gives them an intense connection to the concept of vengeance. When a Scorpio feels betrayed or wronged, their natural instinct is to seek justice, sometimes even through revenge. Astrological insight: Pluto's energy is intense and penetrating, and it drives Scorpios to transform, regenerate, and seek out profound emotional truths. This transformation can sometimes involve a desire for retribution, especially when they feel someone has wronged them. This doesn't mean Scorpios are vindictive for no reason, but rather that they cannot easily forget betrayal or emotional harm. They will often seek to right the wrong in a way that reflects their need for balance. Psychological perspective: the need for vengeance is deeply tied to Scorpios' profound emotional depth and sense of self-preservation. Scorpios do not easily forgive, and when they feel betrayed, they can harbor those feelings for a long time. However, their pursuit of vengeance is not always outwardly explosive. It can be subtle, quiet, and calculated, as Scorpios have the ability to plan and execute their retribution with precision. Psychologically, this stems from the need to protect themselves and regain control over their emotional world. Practical tip: if you're involved with a Scorpio, it's crucial to be honest and loyal from the start. Betrayal, in any form, is deeply hurtful to a Scorpio, and it can be incredibly difficult for them to forgive once trust is broken. The best approach is to respect their emotions and avoid putting them in a position where they might feel betrayed. If you've hurt a Scorpio, give them the space they need to process their emotions before trying to rebuild trust. 17. Scorpio's doubts and inconsistencies in love, the emotional roller coaster. One of the more confusing aspects of Scorpio's emotional nature is their doubts and inconsistencies in love. Scorpios are deeply reflective and often experience an internal emotional roller coaster. They may feel one way about a person one day and then question their feelings the next. This emotional back and forth can leave their partner unsure of where they stand and can make the relationship feel unpredictable. Astrological insight: the influence of Pluto and the water element makes Scorpios highly intuitive and emotionally charged. As they process their deep feelings, they sometimes experience emotional swings that can be difficult to understand. This push and pull are not a reflection of a lack of commitment, but rather a manifestation of their inner battle between vulnerability and self-protection. Psychological perspective: Scorpios' doubts are often tied to a fear of emotional vulnerability. They are afraid of being hurt or betrayed, so they second-guess their emotions as a way of protecting themselves. This emotional inconsistency can create confusion, both for them and their partners. It is not that Scorpios do not care, it's just that they need time to process their emotions and come to a conclusion about their feelings. Practical tip: patience is key when dealing with a Scorpio in love. Understand that their emotional ups and downs are not an indication of lack of commitment, but rather a natural part of their emotional depth. If you are in a relationship with a Scorpio, offer them reassurance, give them the time they need to process their feelings, and be patient as they come to terms with their emotions. Trust will be built over time as they feel safe in your relationship. 18. Scorpio's mysterious and intriguing gaze, the window to their soul. Scorpios are known for their intense, penetrating gaze that often seems to look right through people. This powerful eye contact can leave others feeling like they are being scrutinized, as if Scorpio is peering into their very soul. The intensity of their gaze adds an air of mystery and intrigue, which only enhances their enigmatic nature. Astrological insight. Pluto's influence on Scorpio adds to their ability to read people and situations deeply. Their gaze is not just about seeing but about understanding the underlying truths, emotions, and intentions of those around them. This ability to perceive what others might try to hide is both a gift and a burden for Scorpios, as they are always aware of the layers beneath the surface. Psychological perspective. Psychologically, Scorpio's gaze reflects their need to connect on a deeper level. They are always searching for emotional and psychological depth in others, and their gaze is a way of intuitively evaluating whether someone is worthy of their trust. People often feel uncomfortable under a Scorpio's gaze because it feels as if they are being seen in a way that exposes their vulnerabilities. Practical tip. If you're interacting with a Scorpio, understand that their gaze is not intended to make you feel uneasy but rather to establish a deeper connection. Scorpios have a deep desire to understand the truth behind what is said and unsaid. If you find yourself under their intense stare, don't shy away, engage with them honestly. If they see sincerity in your eyes, they will be more likely to let down their emotional guard and open up to you. 19. Scorpio's passionate, proud, and erotic nature, the complexities of love and desire. Scorpios are passionate and proud individuals who express their desire and love in ways that can seem unconventional. Their approach to intimacy is erotic and often driven by the need for deep connection rather than conventional romance. Scorpios crave transformative experiences in their relationships, preferring intensity and depth over traditional expressions of love. Astrological insight. As a water sign, Scorpio is deeply connected to the emotional and sensual aspects of life. Their sexual energy is not just about physical pleasure, it's about creating an emotional bond that transcends the material world. Under the influence of Pluto, they seek to transform and merge with their partner on every level, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Psychological perspective. Psychologically, this erotic nature stems from Scorpio's desire for complete intimacy. They do not view love and sex as separate entities. For them, the two are deeply intertwined. Their desire for intensity can sometimes border on obsession, but it is also the source of their power and the key to their deep emotional fulfillment. Scorpios want a partner who can meet them in this intense and transformative way, not just physically but emotionally. Practical tip. If you're in a relationship with a Scorpio, understand that their need for intense connection is not about control but about seeking total emotional and physical union. They are not interested in superficial relationships and may find casual encounters unsatisfying. If you can embrace their need for emotional depth and engage with them in an open, transformative way, your bond will be unlike anything you've experienced before. Conclusion: embracing the mystery of Scorpio. Scorpio is truly one of the most fascinating and complex signs of the zodiac. From their intense emotional guard to their passionate, often enigmatic nature, Scorpios bring a level of depth and mystery to their relationships and interactions with the world. Their connection to Pluto, their need for authenticity, and their relentless search for emotional transformation make them both intriguing and challenging. Whether you are a Scorpio or in a relationship with one, understanding these traits is essential for navigating their emotional landscape. Scorpios demand trust, loyalty, and authenticity in their relationships, and they approach love and intimacy with an intensity that few others can match. While they may seem difficult to understand at times, the reward of forming a deep connection with a Scorpio is well worth the effort. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the Scorpio personality and want to learn more about astrology, psychology, and how the stars influence your life, subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life. Together, we will continue exploring the mysteries of the zodiac and how they shape our lives. Don't forget to comment below with your zodiac sign and share your experiences with Scorpio, whether you are one or have encountered one in your life. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next vid.